This is quite an opportunity we had. I got a chance to speak to two of Palm Springs' most famous residents, Jim and Tammy Bakker. Now, they invited me to their home for an exclusive conversation. It was their first interview in several months, and we're going to be showing it all week. Here is part one. Well, we're in the home of Jim and Tammy Bakker here in the Coachella Valley.
And we'd like to welcome you.
Well, thanks for letting me come in here. Yes, now why here? Why in the Coachella Valley? This is the land of the stars, or why would you settle
Really,
here?
we kind of need to blame Tammy for being here this time. But, you know, that's what people say. They always say Palm Springs, the home of the stars, you know. But you got to figure out, why do these people come here? Why do people who could go anywhere in the world, why do they come to the Palm Springs area? And I'm convinced it's because it is so relaxing here, it's so beautiful, and people come here to rebuild their lives after a divorce, after a corporation falls apart. It's amazing how many people, because the Coachella Valley, somebody told me the name, the old Indian name Coachella, means in the palm of his hands, meaning in the palm of God's hands. And if you look around you, the mountains here are all around you, and this is supposed to be the palm of his hands. And we've been rebuilding our lives here in this desert.
So it's been a kind of a calming.
Well, I was hurting so badly. We were in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and I was hurting so badly and suffering so desperately. And I told Jim, if I've got to hurt so bad, I've got to go somewhere where I can stand it. I've got to go where the sunshine is, and I've got to go to where at night when you can walk outside. It is the home of the stars, but it's God's stars up there in heaven that are shining down, those bright stars.
They also have a great water park here.
No, I haven't discovered that yet.
My son has a...
Oh, have you been out to the water park? Now, also, one of the people here in Palm Springs, Sonny Bono, your new mayor here.
Yeah. Congratulations, Sonny.
Were you surprised that he became mayor?
No.
Not really, no.
Because everybody loves him. He is one of the nicest men, probably on the face of this earth. People don't know Sonny the way, I guess, the people that live here know Sonny.
Have you gotten to know Sonny?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We go to his restaurant a lot. He became a preacher.
Sonny the preacher?
Sonny ministered to us. We call it ministry. I mean, he talked to us how he had lost everything, lost his wife and his career, and how he rebuilt. And he gave us his formulas that maybe he'll share with you sometime.
And his philosophy.
Of how he rebuilt. And it helped us so much. And help has come from very unusual areas in our life.
Well, now we're looking around your home, and you still have a couple of people answering mail.
My sister just came in.
Was that your sister? Yeah. So there's still plenty of mail coming in here that has to be answered.
Hundreds and hundreds of letters, and that's all we do basically now is answer mail.
You know those little bumps you get on this finger from from writing with pencil so much? Well, I'm afraid mine's going to be out to here before long.
Is this an indicator then that you're going back?
Yes.
We hope to be back on television this year.
This year you hope to go back?
Yes. We'd like to go back to Heritage USA, but if not, we'll go back on television, perhaps from here in the valley.
Really? Here in the Palm Desert Valley?
Yeah.
Is it starting completely over, or how?
Right now it is. We had at our peak, we had 3,000 people working with us, and we were left with nothing. And so, you know, it is starting over. But an awful lot of our friends are surrounding us, and a lot of our former employees are beginning to work with us again. And it looks exciting at this moment.
How does a person start over? I guess I would feel I would have to take a lot more time off than you folks have had to take to rebuild something right from scratch.
You know, I said, hey, God, you know, because I thought, well, in our 20s we could have handled this a little bit better, but we're not in our 20s anymore, we're not in our 30s anymore, we're heading out of the 40s.
Yeah, we're almost 50.
And I said, hey, God, you know, please. But it's really been kind of romantic, hasn't it, honey?
It's been...
For us, we got to know each other again.
The last few months, it's like a honeymoon.
It
because,
has been.
I mean, who in their late 40s gets to retire, or whatever this is.
Pulling my grade off.
And, and
her head keeps going.
And our son's 12, Jamie, and we spent a lot of time with him. I was so busy building Heritage USA, I didn't have the time. And so we've had a lot of time together, and it's like starting over again, but it's not really, because we have a lot of people that are helping us, and we hope to get Heritage. This is a really sad day for us, because this is a day where they're announcing a takeover sale of Heritage USA, and it is going to a commercial entity. And we built it for the people to be a religious retreat center. And our hearts are broken over this, but we're still not losing faith. We still believe God somehow is going to let us return to Heritage USA and restore it with all the benefits to the lifetime partners and all of our friends, that it will work again.
Because
I know it will.
Because there are a lot of assets there. There's the network.
It's closer to $500 million. The truth has never really been told about it. And they're giving it away literally for a few $1 million as far as I'm concerned. It should never be given away. It should have never been put in bankruptcy. It was not bankrupt when we were there.
Why do you think that happened? Did they just say, well, the gym is gone, we don't know how to run it, so let's just shut it down? Or
I think it was probably for control purposes, to make sure we couldn't get it back.
Oh, I see. I see. Can we go over some of these?
Anything you want.
These are some
this is your show. I'm so used to interviewing people. I'm liable to start interviewing you.
I forgot. It's my show. Well, some of the fiction that has been, fact and fiction that has come about with this. For example, who came out and somebody said there's $90 million missing?
Yeah, Ross, that was the headline all over America.
Where's this $90 million?
And there wasn't any money missing. In fact, Mr. Robinson, one of the trustees of the court, said publicly, he researched and said, hey, there is no money. It's all been put back into roads and buildings and all the plant right there. And it was a lie. But the problem is, the truth never gets published as big as the big lies get published.
Yeah. Oh, the sensational things. Like Jim and Tammy, they have gold faucets in their house.
Yeah, and they're brass, and they're just like...
well, we have brass in our house.
Yeah. We just have the light brass.
Yeah, the light
the
brass.
gold color,
And what about this this is the other one about cars.
Yeah.
Rolls Royce was purchased.
Yeah, they said that the ministry furnished us with 2 Rolls Royces at one point, and now even the IRS said that they furnished us with a Rolls Royce, and that's simply not true. The fact is, I had bought a 1953 car that I had out here in the desert as sort of a hobby, and I donated it to PTL, and then they in turn donated it by my request to the Shriners Burn Hospital. You'll never see that. So I'm being charged with a car that I bought and donated to the Shriners Burn Hospital.
Why doesn't that come out? Why?
You can't get that side. For instance, they said the ministry furnished us 2 matching Mercedes cars. The his and hers Mercedes. The truth is, a businessman donated the cars for our use. I didn't own the cars. The ministry did not own the cars. But it was get a TV preacher year, and nobody wanted the real story. You're the first person, by the way, beside one local reporter, that's asked us any questions about our side that didn't want to talk about sex and scandal.
Parodies that have been done about your makeup than anything. At some point, don't you say that's enough? I'm going to get a makeover and then.
No. I'm going to be just what I am. Yeah. Someone at the swap meet said to me just yesterday. They said, Tammy. And I was made up just exactly like I am right now. And they said, Tammy, why? You look good without very much makeup on. They said, why do you wear so much on TV? And I knew that obviously he was talking about the fact of me right now. I look good without so much makeup on. And I said, sir, this is the way I dress every day of my life. And he looked at me and he said, boy, they've sort of overdone it a bit, haven't they?
Sure, I guess they have. Have you ever thought about wearing disguises when you go out?
I tried one time. I wore
a mustache or anything.
I wore this long black wig one time, and it had this spiked up black hair on the top. And people come right up to me and said, hi, Tammy.
Oh, didn't fool anybody.
No. And I didn't fool me looking in the mirror. I didn't know who I was.
Oh.
But hi, Tammy. They'd say, whisper, hi, Tammy.
How are the two of you existing day to day now?
We sold everything we had, basically, kept one car. And we were able to pay our mother and dad's home, her mother's home, and my mother and dad's home. So my mother and dad are 82 years old, and we wanted them to be secure. And we had $50,000 coming from a balloon payment on our house we sold, and we bought this house. The bank owns most of this house.
Sure, like all of us. The bank.
And there was, and people send us in the mail enough to pay our bills each month. And I made a terrible mistake on my checking account. Which I found, which was in my favor for about $10,000.
So you ended up
So I was able,
wonderful.
the last couple months I lived off that. But basically we were left without any money. And people have us visions of having big bank accounts in Switzerland or something. It's simply not true.
Well, and I must say, when walking around, this is not palatial by any means.
It's 1,800 square feet.
It's a lovely, beautiful place, and Tammy, you've decorated it.
Yes, I decorated.
But you didn't bring anything from another home. This is the only thing you brought.
Yeah, and they
Jim's
brought
music
that
box?
when they came. Yeah, when Jim's sister came to visit us, she brought us that little music box that Jim had on his desk for years and years. But most of our house is all the knickknacks. You were laughing about all the knickknacks in my house, but it's mostly from a little store called Pick and Save. But people who aren't in California don't realize how wonderful that store is. And then we have a lot of swap meets around here, and I love to go to the swap meets. And I picked up all the flowers and all the candles and knickknacks and all that stuff from the swap meets. And so, you know, we've been able to put it together on a budget and have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
Well, tell us about your record.
You have one coming out.
Yes, I have a new album coming out. And I think I'm not sure what we're going to call it. We had talked many times about calling it Singing in the Rain. Because singing in the rain to me is a connotation that in spite of circumstances, still there's a song that comes bubbling up in your heart, you know, when you know God. And my album is out of the hurts that have happened during this time. There's one song in it that says, how long, till I reach the end of this valley. How long, till I sing a triumphant song. And that was a cry of my heart. Then I put a secular song on, something I've never sung before in my life, called Somewhere Over the Rainbow, that Judy Garland, remember Judy Garland sang it?
Sure.
And, you know, I have felt that way so many times. God, where are you? During this time that we've been through, and the terrible hurt and the terrible pain and the terrible lies that you remain stunned. And you call out for God and you say, where is he? And on that song, I do a little talking up front before I sing the song. And say, God, do you even know where I am? Do you even care? I know you're there somewhere way up there over the rainbow.
We're in Coachella Valley. We're in Coachella Valley.
Yes, here we are, God.
Yeah. What about Jim? And this is Tammy's way of making things right, or at least telling her side of the story.
Yes.
How about the Jim and Tammy memoirs? Is there a...
We have worked on it on and off. It's very difficult. We really, we really need the money from a book, but I won't do it for money, so I haven't done a book yet. And we want to tell our side of the story, but I think we'll wait yet. And I want to get back on television. That's what I know best. That's what I feel called to do.
And I feel we need to write the book when we're not writing it from hurt. We need to write it from facts and not from hurt.
A little more history.
Yeah.
Looking back. And
one of the
networks is working on a movie of our life, and we hope it will be true. We're praying to God it will be true. We're working with it. We're helping write it. But they have control to some degree, except, we hope if there is out-and-out lies in it that they will agree not to publish. And I believe they will. They're honorable people, and the writer is a terrific person, and we just feel good about it. So far, we don't know.
Any actors been bandied around?
No, not yet.
Who would you like to see play you? Have you thought about that?
Yes, I have. I'd like Sally Field, because I feel her and I are an awful lot alike.
Oh.
She's kind of the girl next door, and I feel like that's sort of what I am. And I feel like I've seen some of her movies and thought she did an absolutely fantastic job at portraying emotion and hurt and happiness and all those things. And I think we're a lot alike, and I would be very, very...
With living in this fishbowl they live in now.
When you go out in public and people see, or maybe you don't go out in public that much.
Oh, all the time.
Do you really?
Oh, yes.
Do you shop for yourself?
Oh, yes.
Really?
Flea markets. You go to any flea market in
There's Tammy.
There's Tammy Faye. She's getting something for her house.
My house.
Yes. And what do people say to you?
They're wonderfully kind. Wonderfully kind. And
99 and 9 tenths.
Oh.
Just tell them about the bad story.
Is there a bad story?
Do you mind?
Huh?
What happened downtown?
Well, something happened downtown that really, I have gone through periods where I'm almost over the terrible crying, where you just want to cry all the time. And I'm feeling a little bit more on solid ground, a little bit more level now. But I was walking up to a store downtown, and the window washer, a young lady who was washing windows for one of the very elite stores downtown, come up to me and started just screaming at me, just saying terrible things to me. And I kind of, you kind of do that because when somebody hits you, it's like a ton of bricks being thrown at you when they hit you verbally. And I just smiled at her and said I was sorry she felt that way, and walked on into the store with my girlfriend. And we were walking around the store, and the young lady wouldn't give up. And she just kept on saying really terrible things.
Say what she said.
Well, she just said things that hurt me. She said, you're ugly, your face is ugly, I hate you, I can't stand you. How do you put your makeup on? You put cans of paint on your face? I mean, just all sorts. Well, I tried to play along with her and just laugh and make it kind of a joke. But after I left her, I realized in my heart I wasn't feeling like it was a joke. It was hurting terribly. Well, I did something I've never done before.
And it hurt her she's just starting to recuperate. And this has been probably 3 weeks ago. And it set her back until, I've never seen Tammy in a state of total withdrawal and shock from this thing. But you don't need to tell me.
Okay.
I didn't mean to bring it up. The only reason I asked her to say that.
She was going to say something else that there was.
To be honest with you, is that 99% of the people literally hug us. We have people come out of kitchens or restaurants, up to us in restaurants. We have people just meet us on the street and hug us and show great love. But there is a few negative people.
We were in a restaurant. I was in a restaurant one time. I had decided to take a few of my girlfriends and just go out and just do something to try to bring some happiness back into my life a little bit. So we went out to a restaurant, and we were sitting there with my girlfriends, about 5 of us, and we dressed all up and we're playing like we were happy.
Pretending nothing had happened. And
all of a sudden, this wonderful group of people who were sitting next to us, and I say that because they were very nice-looking people. They were very, probably 50, 60-year-old people sitting there. And they were talking, and all of a sudden I heard Jim Bakker's name brought up. And they began to say some very unkind things that they had read in the newspaper. And here I was at the table, right next to him, and I knew that any moment they were going to look over and see me and be terribly embarrassed.
Sure.
So I just reached over and I just touched the lady on the shoulder, and I said, please excuse me, I just wanted to make you aware of the fact that I'm sitting here. And I said, and that you're talking about my husband. When you see me, you'll be embarrassed, and I don't want you to be any more embarrassed than you are. And I said, and I just want you to know, I said that the things you read in the newspaper aren't true, and I began to cry. To my utter horror, I began to cry. Well, I never saw people eat so fast and get up and leave so fast in my life. I didn't mean to embarrass them, but I didn't want them to be further embarrassed when they kept talking loudly and then look over and see me there. So I thought, well, I'll stop it before they say anything too bad.
But certainly, you want to.
But that's the kind of thing that you're always afraid is going to happen. And generally, 99% of the time, it doesn't happen. But you're always holding up a guard in case something should happen. You look at somebody when you smile at them, and you smile saying, please don't be mean to me.